Hello beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video I will be showing you guys how I turn this sketch into this Linework drawing. If you'd like to see, just keep watching. Okay, so before we get started, I do want to give you guys a heads up that I'm only going to be showing the Linework process of one of these characters in the video. If you'd like to see the Linework process of the other character, go ahead and check out my Patreon. I'll have it at the end of the video and also linked in the description box below. So I wanted to start off this video talking about how my relationship has been with my art lately. I had an epiphany and I feel like the majority of this year overall has been very, I don't even know how to word it, like I've been doing a lot of internal work. I feel like there's more work I've done regarding habits that I have, the way I think, the way I do things, as opposed to physical or material items to really show the growth that I have gone through. And sometimes that is a little, depending on your perspective, that can really feel like you haven't done anything, or at least I can say for me, sometimes it feels like I haven't done anything, because last night I was thinking about it and I was just like, damn, like I don't really have a lot of new artwork from this year. Like I have a lot of sketches. I have sketches for days. Like I have so much art that I've been working on and starting, but it's like I haven't really finished anything. It's definitely because it takes time to really unlearn things that you've been told the majority of your life. And I'm basically reteaching myself how to live. And it takes time to do that, and it can be very overwhelming going through that process. So it's definitely affected my ability to just work on my art. I was talking to my friend the other day about like my process of working on my artwork and how I feel that the most successful pieces that I've done, I don't think. Like I literally have no thought. It's kind of like an instinct what to do next. It's kind of like, okay, this looks off. What do I need to do? And I just do it. Like I don't really have much thought involved in the process. And I think that because I've been changing so many habits about myself, my mindset towards my art has changed, whether I intentionally meant for it to change or not. So it has affected my ability to kind of just know what to do next, or maybe sometimes I even may subconsciously be rejecting what my intuition is telling me to do next on my art. With the point that I am at right now, I definitely say I've grown a lot. Like I can still see how my style has changed from the beginning of the year versus like right now towards like closer towards the end of the year. I definitely see that my sense of anatomy has improved. I can see that I have a better grasp of form. I think that's the most tricky thing for me. Like even going to college, I went to school to be an animator, so I studied animation, illustration, and creative writing. So my mind is very, like in terms of when it comes to drawing or even just animating or illustrating something, my mind is very two-dimensional. I don't really think that much about the entire form. And even with my love of anime, like anime is so like anime just like flattens out the form, so it's very difficult for me to understand a three-dimensional form other than taking like the figure studying classes that I have in college, which at this point has been a while, so I have to do my best to really just like watch videos. So that's what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of videos where they go over the skull and anatomy, how the muscles are on top of the bones, and how it helps with like just basic human motions. So that's helped a lot with my ability to really understand what I'm looking at and understand what I'm trying to draw. I feel like I'm finally at a place now where I'm getting a better grasp of what I want out of my art and kind of just understanding my process. I think that is the main thing I'm realizing now, like as I'm working on my art. Like I said, I have a habit of creating a new sketch all the time. Like it's like the idea or the feeling or the emotion that comes with creating a new sketch for me, like that is what feels great to me. And then when I'm working on the line work of the sketch, it's like, okay, like now I'm finally like bringing form to what it is that I'm drawing. And then once I start getting to color, flat color can kind of be a bit tricky because my mind is still trying to understand everything that I've learned now about color. And then when it comes to shading and highlighting, like now I'm very highly aware of that's when I freak out. That's when I'm like, damn, what do I do next? What color should I use? Like what hue should I use for highlighting? What hue should I use for shading? And it's like, I love color, saturation, bold colors, here for it, live by it. That is everything. So I am still understanding how to get what I want out of the piece, but also make sure that it doesn't become muddy or too overworked or too saturated. And I think that's one of those things where it's just like, first of all, like I've always said, I cannot stand when somebody gives me a critique when I do not want one. Like, literally, I like sharing that I don't know what to do because I want to bring awareness to the fact that it's okay to not know what you want to do. And when someone sees that as an opportunity to tell me what to do, it's just like, nah, fam, relax, just look at what I'm doing and please just understand that I'm trying to break down like the stigma of, oh, we're all perfect, oh, we always know what to do. It's just like, nah, fam, like, I don't know what to do, but I'll figure it out on my own. Don't give me a critique. But I say all that because I just want to share that I don't always know what I'm doing. But I am getting to a point where I really am getting a better grasp of what I want out of my art. I think that is kind of what makes it a little bit more annoying for me to receive critique when I'm not looking for one, because I'm trying to get in touch with a part of myself. I'm trying to get in touch with whatever it is that naturally works within me that for some reason my subconscious fights or blocks out. Like, there's a part of me that instinctually knows what to shade with. But once I start getting caught up in thought and I start thinking, damn, what do I do next, instead of just feeling it, that is where I've had the most trouble figuring out what to do next. So now that I have this awareness, I definitely feel a lot better. Like, there was the same piece. So you guys are seeing the line work right now. I'm at a point or at the stage where I already have all the color blocked in. One of the things that I noticed as I was closing the file is literally it just hit me out of nowhere. Like, I just knew what shade to shadow what area with. Whereas last night I was working on it for like, I don't know, like there was a point of probably like an hour or so where I was trying to shade with a specific color because I was watching another artist work on their piece and I was just like, like, let me try out this technique. So I was trying it out and it wasn't working, or it kind of was. In some areas it was working, in others it wasn't. I kind of felt like the reason why it may not be working is because I'm doing something wrong. Whereas now looking at it, I feel like it's just that technique didn't feel instinctual to me. Like, it worked for the artist I was watching, but it didn't work for me. So I'm doing my best now to really just honor what naturally flows through me, because literally, like, I was just closing the file, I looked at the piece and instinctually I knew, use that color to shade in that area, use that color to shade in that area. Whereas last night when I was trying out this technique, I just couldn't wrap my head around why it wasn't working. And the moment that I stopped thinking and I was about to close the file, that's when I was just like, oh, do that. Like, what? Like, it's crazy how things happen like that, but that's why I share that, like, specifically for my process and the way that I create my art. Like, my best work is when I'm not thinking. My relationship with my art is definitely improving. I'm like, even just a couple minutes ago, I was looking at one of my pieces that I did a few years ago that I actually did of Deadpool. I remember enjoying working on that piece so much because Deadpool is such a derp that it was an opportunity for me to just like make this the most silly thing possible. And I loved working on that piece because, like, first of all, like, it was kind of tricky at first, just trying to figure out how I wanted it to look. Actually, I'm just gonna insert a picture on the screen right now so you guys can look at it, right? So here's this piece of Deadpool, and it took me a while to really figure out kind of like the elements that I wanted to add. And then after I figured out what elements would really make this like a Deadpool derpy piece, when I was figuring out the colors, that's when it was a bit more tricky. And now that I'm years ahead from working on this piece and looking at it, I see what made this a successful piece for me in terms of like my stage, or in terms of my process of working, and it's kind of like looking at that piece brought me the answers I needed for the piece I'm working on right now, even though they're years apart and when I created them. That was just like a mind-blowing moment where I was just like, damn, like I really created a successful piece. And it's like I wasn't thinking that much. Like, I think that when I was working on it, because it was years ago, so I don't remember that much. I remember it was a bit tricky, but I feel like there was a moment where I was kind of like, all right, just try this color or try that color. Subconsciously, I knew the color I was trying was the right one for the color palette I was working on, but I didn't really understand why it was. I just knew it was. Whereas now that I've done the work to understand color better, now I know why it works so well. Like, it's crazy how like instinctually I'll know to do something, but it's not until like further down the line of like working on that piece or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's why it worked. Like, I'm definitely getting my confidence back. I can feel that I'm getting my confidence back, and I think I just want to work on a bigger project now. I think I've kind of worked on little projects here and there, or little sketches here and there, but nothing that's like a legit series of work. And there are things that I keep thinking about that I want to draw, but I don't follow through because I'm still in this weird phase, like I said, that I'm working through with my art in terms of just figuring out my process and what I want it to be and what feels natural. And that kind of holds me back from even trying to start these series that I want to work on, but I gotta follow through. I just gotta do it. So like that's one of like my major, or at least like my next plan, to just start a series. That's definitely my next plan from here. I've been enjoying doing these draw this in your style challenges because, like I said, when I start thinking, that's what kind of screws up my ability to just work on a piece successfully. So when I do the draw this in your style challenge, and if you guys don't know what that is, it's pretty much when an artist creates a character, has their own original character, and they have a challenge to have other artists draw their character in their style. And then it depends on the artist what they want to do. Some of them will share the entries in their stories. Some of them will just choose a few to actually post on their profile. But I love doing it because it gives me an opportunity to first draw something that I usually don't, because it's very easy as an artist to kind of just get like stuck in your own ways and get stuck in like the type of characters you draw, the type of clothes you draw, whatever habit it may be. I love the idea of looking at the way somebody else approaches their art and kind of using that to inspire you to draw something different. And then I also love the aspect of I don't have to think. So it's like this artist clearly has created their own character, so they're taking all the guesswork out of like how should their hair look, how should their clothes look, what color are they going to be wearing, what color are their eyes. Like, I don't have to think about any of that. The only thing I have to think about is my style, because I'm drawing it in my style. So I love that this challenge gives me an opportunity to just get to know my style better, because I think that's the major thing I can definitely say is tricky for me right now. This challenge is probably like the best thing I can do for myself and for my artwork right now to just help myself move forward. With October coming up is Inktober. So I have said this in previous videos, I don't like doing things that are trending because I feel like it makes me feel, or it makes me feel like I have to step back from everything else that I want to work on or that feels more in line with how I feel right now to create something else that is appropriate for that challenge. So it's like in May, there's Mermay, October, there's Inktober. I think I saw something for September being like a lingerie, like I don't know how to say the word, so I'm not even gonna try it, but like September and lingerie put together, that's a word. Not gonna try to say it. But things like that are awesome. Like, I love the idea of it, but it's like, let's say I have a trash month during August, right? And suddenly I want to start drawing stuff that makes me feel better in August because I didn't feel that great. So I start drawing art with people at the beach or on vacation. And then September comes around and here's this prompt to draw a bunch of characters in lingerie. That is going against what I feel. Because it's like, if I want to draw art that makes me feel good, and lingerie isn't something that my mind is kind of associating with something that makes me feel good. Now I'm abandoning what already feels in line with where I'm at in life to work on something that's trending. So that's why I don't like doing things that are trending, because it affects my ability to just work on something that feels in line with how I'm feeling. Or sometimes I get so stubborn about wanting to participate in the trend that I negate my emotions, and then I start working on the trend, but it's not working. Like I start a piece and I write down all these ideas and they sound fun and amazing, but then once I start working on it, I screw up and then I beat myself up about it, and I'm just like, come on, get it together. You're supposed to be doing a new drawing every day, but then also I can't really do a drawing in a day. So it's a rabbit hole, guys. It's a rabbit hole. So with Inktober coming around, I want to participate in Inktober. And the reason why I want to do it is because I remember last year when I did Inktober, it felt like such a big relief in my life because I was going through a lot during that time. I had gone to New York Comic Con, which is like the first week of October. And then after that, I just drew. Like I drew a bunch of different ideas that came to my mind after I read the prompt, and I'd read the prompt from the night before. So it's like if today was, or today is, but whatever, if today is Monday and then tomorrow's Tuesday, from Monday night I would read Tuesday's prompt and I'd kind of just think about whatever images came to mind, and then by Monday night I would already have an idea in my head of what I wanted to draw. So then when Tuesday hit, I would just start the drawing. And I created so many dope pieces. Like that's probably the most work I produced that year in that month than I did during any other part of the year. I drew things that I usually don't. I drew things that, I don't know, like it was just a really great experience, and I kind of want to do that again. I didn't draw every day. So there were certain days where I missed because obviously I went to Comic-Con. You ain't gonna find me drawing at Comic-Con because I'm somewhere cosplaying, so nah fam. So I wasn't drawing when I was at Comic-Con, so I skipped those days, and then for other days I kind of just participated in what I wanted to. So it was kind of like I did what I could type of Inktober, but not like I drew something different every day for full 31 days. Like it was not happening. So I think I want to do that same approach for this year, and I just want to get back in touch with like that part of myself. Like I think I hit a mentality where I wasn't even thinking about posting it. I wasn't thinking about how other artists are approaching Inktober. I wasn't thinking about any pressures. Like there wasn't a pressure to work. It just felt freeing. And I really want to channel that for myself again, because I feel like these past couple of months, like I said, I've been doing a lot of internal work. Like literally I've been reteaching myself everything in life, reteaching myself how I want to express my emotions, reteaching myself what is a form of self-love and self-care, reteaching myself how I want to work on my art, how I want to feel when I'm working on my art, what I want to spend the most time on right now in my life. Like I've been rethinking so many things. Working on Inktober feels like a break from that. It feels like the perfect moment for me to just like let go, relax, let things be, just be present and just draw, be fun, you know, like I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what I come up with this year and trying to just be as freeing as I was last year this year. All right, so that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me work on this piece. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye guys.